So cool. We have a couple choices for what we can do this meeting. First, I wanted to start with has anybody written any part of a case for the Medicare for All topic?
Wait, I thought our topic was the NFU topic.
Yes, sorry. First use topic. Has anybody written a case for either side? It can be a contention, just like anything. Don't type in the chat, by the way. Unless you like physically can't, or I mean not physically, but unless there's like some technical issue, just like say it. Like it. I don't want to have to like check the chat all the time. So if you have a case, maybe just speak now, so we can all like start talking about it, the topic. Case contention, background information, anything typed up. Okay, so I'm going to take that as nobody has a case, contention, anything like that for either side. Guys, come on, you got to work with me. Maybe just like someone says something, it's
we have like background info and some research and some evidence and stuff.
Okay, sounds good. I just want to know what level we're at right now. Because there's like a couple options for what we can do today. Either I can read off, if you guys have a decent amount of background knowledge, I can read off a speech. It'll probably just be from some website talking about no first use policy. I can read a speech supporting that, and then you guys can hammer me with good questions about it and my lack of knowledge, and fight and sort of attack my lack of knowledge on this topic. So either we can go that way, but you guys would have to know at least a decent amount about the topic for that to work. Or we can go over some more basic things about how to write a case, get started on writing a case today, and talking about narratives, because I think that that's the most important thing that I wish I knew when I was first out writing a case. Or lastly, we could do a gauntlet where I'll read off a case, and then each one of you is going to have to come up with a couple responses. Which one like sounds the best? Just I guess for this one, all right. I guess just type in the chat, because nobody want. If you want to speak, props to you. So just type in the chat or let me know which one do you. All right, Natalie, that's fine. Yeah, so just let me know in the chat, or just tell me which one do you guys want to do. We can do gauntlet. We can go over like starting a basic case and really about how to write a good case, or we can go into reading off some basic article from online, and then you guys ask me questions. So Vishnu said gauntlet, and Vishnu liked his own comment. So there's a couple more people here. Do any of you want a different thing? Because if not, we're going to go with gauntlet. And then all of you guys are going to have to participate.
Can we do the thing that, like, you said that you wish that you learned when you were, like...
Okay, yeah, definitely. All right. Okay, so if that's the route we want to go, that sounds good, because I was kind of fingers crossed that we were going to choose that one. But it's totally fine if we want to do a different one. Survival of the fittest. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think that was one of the choices, but here. So if we're going to choose the narrative one, all right, sounds good. So I'm going to pull up a presentation that I had that was shared with me, and Then after that, we can start. Until I find that, which will probably take me like a minute, why doesn't everybody come up with, write on a piece of like on your computer? Oh yeah, okay, Miles. So the activity we're going to be doing is here. Who's the other? Okay, so the activity that we're going to be doing right now is we're going to be going over how to write a good case, getting started with it, and this big idea that I wish I knew when I was starting to write my cases. So how about everybody comes up with 2 basic arguments that they want on both sides? Just a couple words so that we can have something good to start with. What's the debate? I feel like I'm on a live stream and you guys are all like commenting and I'm responding to them. Okay, so why doesn't everybody come up with 2 of them? Maybe type in the chat here, just type pro arguments. So can someone remind me what the resolution is?
Resolve, the United States should adopt a declaratory nuclear policy of no first use.
Okay, great. So I want Kathy, Miles, Vishnu, and Troy. I want you guys together in the chat to type out 2 AF arguments each. If you see one that you already you were going to write, then just like that so that I can look at them, because I don't have the knowledge that you guys have. You know more about this topic than me. I'm just here to help you convey what you already know. So why don't you 4 in the chat just type out 2 arguments for the pro side, all right? So you guys are in favor of them passing a declaratory policy. And then I want Natalie, Angie, Daniel, and Juliana. I want you 4 to type out 2 neg arguments against it. Just a couple of words, just so we understand. And then if you see an argument that you already thought of, then just like that argument so I know which ones. All right. So I'm going to go pull up the presentation, and if I can't find it, I can just explain it to you guys anyway. All right, great. So, is there more people now? Did someone just join?
I did.
Okay, so Natalie and who is that just joined? Is that Jerry?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what we're doing right now is I separated you guys out into half and half groups. 4 of you guys, or Jerry, you can join the pro team. So basically what's happening is I want you guys in the chat to type out 2 arguments for the pro and 2 arguments for the con. So you 5 that I designated, including Jerry, we're supposed to write out 2 arguments combined that are main arguments for the pro, and then I wanted 4 of you guys to type out arguments for the con, and just like an argument if you thought of that argument too, because I don't know as much about this topic as you guys. So it seems like you guys did. So I will pick 2 people that typed out arguments on the pro and the neg to give me just a summary of the argument that you typed out, and then I'm gonna go on to case writing, and then we can get started, and I can get people to start giving me some examples of what we're looking at. In fact, I can create a document where we can write out some fundamentals of how we're going to be writing our cases for each side. Because right now it doesn't seem like anybody has anything. And I think that the best way to get started here is if everybody works on joint cases first. So for the pro side, I'll just go from the top here. All right. Vishnu, why don't you explain to me this argument that you wrote about encouraging other countries to also not use nuclear weapons? Just give me 2 sentences or a short explanation.
So basically, no nuclear first strike policy would also encourage, it'll incentivize other countries to also adopt no first strike policies because of I guess pressure on them to also become more non-violent, and also because of the immense damage nuclear war could cause and trying to prevent it as much as possible.
Okay, great. So a summary of that argument could be that it pressures other countries to pass no first use policies. Is that correct, or you got to tell me if I'm wrong?
Yeah. That's right.
Because I can totally fix it. There's it's totally fine if that was not the right way to describe your argument. Is that okay, or?
Yeah, basically.
All right, great. Kathy, why don't you tell me about de-escalation? Maybe just expand on it a little. Kathy, are you there? Oh, I think Kathy left. Sorry. All right. So, could someone else explain to me the de-escalation argument? How about Jerry? Jerry, why don't you explain de-escalation to us? Because it seems like you had a lot of good stuff to say about this.
De-escalation for pro or de-escalation for con?
For pro.
Okay, so if wait, hold on a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, let me just get something. All right. Okay, so since the U.S. is a big global leader, right? So if they state that they'll implement a no first use policy, then other countries may follow because they see that the U.S. is being a good has good morals, right? So they might follow along with the U.S., which would overall decrease the chance of conflict.
All right, great.
And for neg?
Yeah, so here, let me see what some people wrote for neg. Natalie, tell me about no first use bolstering conventional deterrence, preventing miscalculation. Or Natalie, did you mean to write a pro argument with that, or how about you explain?
I didn't write anything.
I don't think it's.
Oh, sorry, that was Juliana. Sorry.
So basically, with NFU, well, right now with the ability for first strike, the U.S. especially is relying on that a lot, I guess. And then so they've been doing less. Well, it's thought that they're doing less for unconventional means. So then, if there's no first use, then they stuff like bioweapons and other stuff, like they wouldn't be able to retaliate. So then they could use that money to bolster conventional deterrence, and then with conventional deterrence, there's a less likely chance of miscalc, and so yeah.
Okay, great. So, who else has some neg arguments? Or okay, does anybody else that hasn't spoken have any neg arguments? If you don't speak now, then I'll quiz you about them after, just to make sure that you guys are all listening, because this is all good information. I'm confused. What did Jonathan mention? I don't think I heard it.
No, he's not.
All right, fine. So does anybody else have any other neg arguments? Okay, so if nobody else new has any neg arguments, Jerry, why don't you tell us what the neg arguments that you wrote were?
Okay, so I really have a huge contention for this, but it's overall hegemony, right? So first of all, there are deterrence risks because if the U.S. implements an NFU policy, then other U.S. enemies or enemies of U.S. allies might see that as a weakening of hegemony, and thus they'll feel more emboldened to attack.
Perfect. All right. Do you have any? Do you have one more?
There's also nuclear proliferation, right? Because if other countries see that if the U.S. isn't going to attack first with nukes, they might develop their own nukes to guard their own national interests. So that's the second subpoint. Okay, so those are mainly the two subpoints, and they also have impacts as well, which is basically increase of a nuclear arm race, which in turn increases the chance of a nuclear war, and there's going to be higher risks of conventional warfare as well.
Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to screen share, sort of give the basics of the presentation, and we're going to go back and forth between this presentation and building up our cases on both sides. And I'm going to need everybody's help to finish out this case because I really have no clue what I'm talking about. You guys are going to be my aides here. All right. How do I screen share? It's like, does anybody know how to screen share with this?
So basically you see your taskbar where like you can turn on your video, unmute your mic. Right next to it, there's like an upload thing. So click on that. And then it's gonna give you the screen you want to share. But if you want to share your audio as well, and I think on the top it has include system audio, and then you have to click on the check mark the box of include system audio, or else you just like click the thing that you want to share.
Huh. All right. Very funny. I think I don't. It's like there's some technical difficulties right now. I don't know. It's like maybe if I stop recording,